day, 162 the cut, and the biggest problem I've been having with my own training as of late is with how I feel on the diet. I'm doing a really shitty job of auto-regulating my main work so that I'm not totally cooking myself. To solve that problem, did something a little bit special this morning. Well, maybe not that special, but I'll explain. And don't get me wrong, I still do absolutely think that autoregulation is the best way to set up training. But the issue I'm having now is with how low food is, and also with how much weaker I am since I've dropped 100 pounds in the last year. If I treat things the way that I am used to after a decade of autoregulation down my training, even doing the best job that I currently know how to do, it's still just way too easy to overreach for the circumstances. So the solution I came up with is basing my barbell work off of a program that is notoriously minimal in the amount of barbell intensity and loading that is present. And what's that program, you might be asking? I'm going to be running 5-3-1 for all of my main barbell work for the foreseeable future. But not just the standard 5-3-1. Because this morning I spent a couple hours in the Team Activated program app building out a 5-3-1 layout that'll solve both my current problems as well as the big problems that lifters have with 5-3-1. To solve my problems, I'm just running the stock 5-3-1 set, rep, and percentage scheme based off of very conservative training maxes because that's why the set, rep, percentage scheme is there in 5-3-1 to keep things super manageable. Now, the second problem with 5-3-1 is because the barbell work is so minimal, a lot of lifters aren't able to drive progress because they're just not getting enough work in to drive progress. So, made sure to build out a custom accessory layout to make sure that both me and you are going to be getting enough work in to drive the barbell lifts. And with where I've been struggling in progressing my training, it's not on the accessories, so I know I'm going to be good to crank there. Anyways, set one for today at 265. We're about to find out if I made my training maxes conservative enough. Like, I programmed myself with 150 pounds underneath my bench competition max, so I'm really hoping we don't have to lighten her up from here. Because that is another big reason that lifters do end up having trouble with 5-3-1 is that they put a conservative training max into the program, and then they see how light the numbers are, and they go like, oh, that's way too light, I need to make it heavier. But the key to making 5-3-1 work is starting light enough that you got room to build. And I gotta remember to turn my legs on earlier for this set. Felt pretty conservative, so should be on track. Now, there is one thing that I do need to clarify about this program is that you are not me. You're not on an extreme caloric deficit. Your recovery isn't totally shittered. So there are probably going to be much better program options in the team app for you. But one of the coolest things about this is that in the app, you get to track everything you're doing. So I'm going to give myself a RPE 6 for that set if my thumb scrolling can work while I'm talking to the camera. But set 2, we are loading to 80 if I can get the change plates right. And the team is absolutely free for the first week right now. So hit the link below, sign up, check it out, because not only do you get access to the program app, you're going to be able to get individualized coaching on every single thing that you do so that I can direct you towards one of the program streams and then help you modify that program to fit your needs while giving you technical feedback along the entire way. Like, it's literally insane for what you're paying. So get in there before Miana makes me jack the price up again. Still feeling pretty conservative though, so that is a very good sign that we are accomplishing the mission. Gonna call this one a 7, which means it's now time for top set, which is only going to be 300 for 5, and I'm not very thrilled that this is a top set for today because it's not very heavy, but I mean that's what I need right now because I don't need to be overcooking myself given the current state of the diet. But I am giving myself the option to squeak out a couple more than 5 reps if things are feeling really good. So that's why I got Darrell back there supervising, just in case things do get a little bit sticky if I do decide to go the more AMRAP-y route. The decision on whether or not I'm going more than 5 reps is pending, but we're gonna wake up a little bit for this one. Felt much better than expecting. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a sign that we started this off conservative enough on the 1 rep max. So now goal is to build in the coming weeks.
Should we tell the vlog that I'm not feeling very well because of some medicine?
I was going to.
And we can say that we're going to do the same thing that we always do when we're not feeling well, and that's just taking what's there.
Are you telling that to me or telling that to the vlog?
Kind of you and kind of the vlog.
If you guys didn't catch on the mic, Miana started her meds for the fertility protocol this week, and she is not feeling the freshest right now, but she's gonna do the best that she can with what she's got. So hopefully that's more than 0 with 225. Okay, let's go. Settle, good. Yes. Yep. Good enough.
Yeah, not bad.
Actually better than I was expecting.
Okay.
So.
You didn't believe in me?
I just thought you wouldn't get 4.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, with how I've been feeling on the fertility meds, it makes me feel a lot better seeing that she's also a little bit shittered. Anyways, to ensure that I actually can build the mains over the coming weeks, we gotta crank on some accessories. Starting with some wide grip touching on the buffalo bar. Not sure where I want to aim for loading on these guys, so we're just going to feel out a red. But the goal here is to get some flare, get some spread, and see if we can get some more sternal pec into my comp bench. Figuring a yellow will be appropriate off of that. Target here is 2 sets of 10 to 12 at an 8 to 9 RPE. So we're gonna see if this gets hard enough in the rep range. If not, we'll go up. Might have to drop the J's one. And I'd say that was about perfect for the loading target, which I'm a little bit depressed to admit, but the fact that that is so much harder than my comp bench tells me that it's probably going to be a really good variation to be running right now. And I have been running a lot of flared machine press work, but what last week's comp bench assessment taught me is that the wider grip machine press work is not having the translation that I want back to barbell, so that's why we're touching this guy. And goal here for set 2 is to get close to the same amount of reps without dying. And I forgot to lower the J's, but we'll be okay. thought we were going to be pretty okay after the first couple, but man, oh man, did that one catch up. And next up, this is not going to be ideal by any means because I'm lazy. JMs with a buffalo bar, not ideal, but it's going to be better than changing back to a straight bar for these guys. And off of last week's barbell JMs, figure should be good to go to start at 245. And if I end up eating a bar, I will have learned my lesson. Ten to 12. Got a little hairy at the end there, but I was also a little bit offset of the grip just because this doesn't have like standard power bar knurl, so I'll do a better job of making sure my hands are even for the next set. Hindsight, probably should have run a feeler set, but we didn't die, so we'll be okay. And with JMs, you can run them stricter, bigger range of motion, but in terms of getting carryover back to bench press, I definitely think that running them shittier and heavier works better. Anyways, goal for this set is slightly less shitty than the last one. Extra diligence on making sure that my thumbs are even from that center knurl. Yeah, much better when we're not crooked. Last one still got a little bit squirrely though. But I mean, gotta crank accessories for accessories to work, so I'm okay with it. We'll probably do a feeler set next week, but got everything recorded in the app, which means we're now moving on to this egregiously heavy machine press. Starting at 2 here because I figure with how gnarly this thing is, it'll be wise to run a feeler set. But it's like, just because I don't think I'm getting direct bench carryover from this, doesn't mean that I don't think it's gonna be insanely productive to get stronger on. And thinking 12s for work sets, so gonna just crank some out here and then decide where we want to go. I think I gotta nudge the seat up a notch, but 2.5 should be perfect. And if it's too light after set 1, we'll just go up. So, big crank here, then we'll decide what we're doing. I think that means we're keeping her here for work set 2. The worst part and the best part of these 2 work set protocols is that when the first work set is freaking hard, you know the second work set is really gonna suck. So let's wake up. Lesson, we might have to aim a little bit more conservatively on set 1 next week. And I think lesson there for those watching is I'm always getting asked, like, what do you do if you're halfway through a set on accessories and you can tell that you're going to overshoot the shit out of it? Well, you don't want to just stop and quit before it gets hard. You do want to push until you hit RP target, but then don't push to try to finish the set and make the rep shitty. And that way you're going to be able to live to fight another day. Or you at least won't be so shittered that the rest of your workout is screwed. Anyways, Darrell found this weird-ass leg press. It's actually an overhead press, if that's not obvious. It's just the foot pedal is in a very convenient position, but we're not doing that because we've got some incline row and dumbbell extensions over here on the real incline bench because all the 0 to 90s are taken again. But target here is some not shitty 12s, so figuring 80s should hopefully be appropriate for work set number 1 here. But it's like trying to angle dumbbells back, straight down the shoulders, roll back till parallel, and fling them up as soon as I can. Am okay with some elbow drop because this is kind of like a shitty move weight kind of exercise. And I forgot to count because I was talking, so we'll just go till it gets hard enough. Hopefully that was close to 12. I'll shut up so I can count for the next set. Okay, round 2 here. Goal is to try to do a better job of counting so we can find out if I'm actually overshooting or not. Now, when I watch this back on the replay and see if I actually counted right, then we'll be able to know whether or not I nailed it. And I do have incline scat plane front raises program, but due to the state of all the 0 to 90s being occupied, it's gonna run this guy a step back a bit so I can kind of get in that scapular plane, arms a little bit in front of midsection, nudge the hands up to do a bit better job, and this is gonna do everything that I need it to do. Probably a better job actually due to the strength curve, so always glad to crank out on this guy because it feels so freaking nice. And we'll go up for work sets. Okay, aiming 12 here, so should be decent crank. Thought we might have had bonus reps, but apparently thought wrong. And I could try to come up with some bullshit about like fancy bench press delt carryover from this specific machine, but the truth is that I'm really just doing this right now because I want bigger shoulders. Like the incline scat plane front raises, I could make a case for bench carryover, but the direction of pull in this guy, even though we still kind of are touching some fronties, like it's not going to be great for transfer to bench, but hopefully if shoulders are bigger, we got a little bit more room to control the bar and whatnot. And we're roasted. Checking how much weight I had on that thing so I can record it to make sure that I progress over the coming weeks. And to illustrate why I need shoulder work, Miana's just jumping in at the same weight that I did, so let's see how not good at these I really am. I'm pretty not good at these, eh?
I mean, it's kind of heavy.
Kind of heavy. Yeah, so we got to get better. She is dropping it for her sets, which does make me feel a little bit better about myself, but not really. Continuing with the muscles I need more of theme. Jamming on these wide grip pull downs. I need to take weight off for the rep target. Hold on. Aiming for 15 here, so can't be thinking I'm stronger than I really am. But more of these guys, really trying to let the scaps go sideways at the top, trying to let the elbows roll out. Really big stretch of the lateral lat, really big squeeze in the bottom, and we'll crank this one out. I think the real benefit of tracking my training in the app is that it's going to force me to get better at counting, because on that set I had no freaking clue how many I did once it got hard. So hopefully it was close to 15. Dropped her down a hair for this one just so I can keep a higher standard of execution. But the reason I like this machine so much is that at the top it kind of like forces you away, which helps so much for getting the scaps off the rib cage and just makes that stretch position so spicy, if you can't tell. Like, I'm usually not a fan of machine pull downs just because like the strength curve sucks too, but this is really, really nice through the entire range. I'm doing the stupid thing where I'm talking and forgetting to count, so we'll just go till it gets hard. Because hard matters more than specific rep ranges. Mission accomplished. And can't forget about rear delt, so going for a big old high rep crank on this sucker. The more favorable leverage pec decks are currently occupied, so we're making do with this guy. It's going to be more than good enough with how she feels in the bottom. Not too worried about scap travel here. Like, I'm getting enough rear delt that I can let him travel. One more, which we're gonna go up a little bit for. Hopefully we don't get stapled. It's gonna suck, but we'll be okay. Adequate effort achieved. Miana's finishing up. She is in fact using less weight than I am here, so I'm at least happy about that. But what I'm not happy about is what I wrote down next for me in the program, because I do not love training arms. But the reason that I don't love training arms is probably because my arms are small, so I figure I need to start training arms. And what better way than putting arm work in the program that other people are able to see? Because if other people are seeing the program in the team and then they see me not doing arms in the vlog, they're going to be like, Seth, what the fuck, why aren't you training arms? So that's my motivation to jam out on some bicep curls. Can probably go heavier than this, but I really don't train arms, so I want to ease in just so we don't blow anything off. Not that I'm going to tear a bicep doing bicep curls, but I just want it to, you know, feel good when we get to the work sets. On that note, I had one of the stupidest comments of all time on my don't tear a bicep pulling mixed grip reel that I made a couple months ago now, but dude was basically like talking about how I don't know what I'm talking about, yada, 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 yada. And I was like, well, motherfucker, I've actually torn my bicep, had it reattached, and still am able to pull 754 with that side underhand totally fine on deadlifts. And then he kind of went all like, oh, you tore a bicep, you really don't know what you're talking about, and yada, 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 yada. But point is, bicep tears, they suck. Don't want to do it again, but mixed grip isn't the scariest thing on earth if your shoulder rotation is where it needs to be. That got harder faster than I wanted it to. We'll go 40s for the sake of hoping that they actually grow. The reason I'm currently back here is I don't want anyone to see me out front in the real dumbbell section curling this light and it looking this hard. Back over here to finish out with bandy hip flexor raises because cables are all occupied right now. And big reason for running these guys is it just makes hips feel nice. And I always say this every time I do these, but like strong hip flexors aren't going to help you move the barbell. But hip flexors that are good at doing your job of flexing the hip are going to help your brace feel more and more secure. And I just got distracted because I saw that the cable on this oh so wonderful rotation machine is broken off of it. So that makes me sad. Hopefully it's fixed by Saturday because I really want to run it on Saturday because I have been really enjoying the oblique work push in terms of building brace strength, so that's a little disappointing. This thing's broken. The rotation machine. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a very great cable. Did you show this to the
No, I
camera?
didn't. Like, I don't think I can see it. I'll just toss her over there, but
Okay.
I'm sad because I really, really, really do like this thing. And like the max pump stuff, it feels so good. Like every piece of equipment is like the best feeling piece of equipment for that machine variant that I've ever used. It's just that the quality seems a little bit questionable so far, so hopefully that gets sorted. And we're pumped up, so switching legs.
I'm going to bring my stuff to the front so we can touches.
Okay. Miana's heading to the front to sit down. So that means I'm alone. Which technically means that I could like get away with doing something stupid right now, but considering the state of the diet, like I don't want to be that irresponsible when I'm unsupervised. Although I am looking at the scissor lift over there thinking it could be fun to try to go for a ride. Not going to do that. Don't want to get kicked out of the gym this early with it being actually open now. And that's enough to do the job. But it's like, even if it isn't the most exciting thing to watch me bench 300 pounds or to bench 300 pounds, like benching 300 pounds, not very exciting to be very clear. But the thing is that I know that if I can make these changes to my programming structure, keep a little bit more in the tank, not be so tempted to overcook myself and overshoot the mains, it's going to let me build as much momentum as possible while I'm finishing out this diet. And like, if I can have the littlest bit of momentum going, like I'm not expecting like anything to blow up, I'm just expecting to not feel like I'm going to be dying as often as I have with the screwing up and auto-regulation that I have been doing. And with that, it's like, if I can just keep her chugging, and just do the best that I freaking can while the circumstances aren't ideal for being strong. I know I say this all the time, but the better I can do right now, even if that does mean sacrificing how much weight I'm putting on the bar, it's going to make me so much better off when it does come time to bring back in the food. And like I was saying, with Miana running her and the fertility meds, like that means that pretty soon here I'll be able to not be natty. And I'm very excited to pull that trigger, but I'm also not expecting pulling that trigger to like automatically solve all of the problems that I'm having right now, because I don't think that just like adding in extra supplements is going to make me automatically feel like myself under the bar. It's going to be a food thing, but I think that it should at least make things a little bit more manageable and definitely should help out with the body composition equation. So I am getting more and more and more excited for that to happen, but we still got a couple weeks to go before I can do that. So I shouldn't get too excited in the meantime, because in the meantime, we got to just keep cranking with what we got. But guys, am stoked to be here. I'm stoked to, again, like have another session that I can honestly say like went freaking well across the board. I feel pretty damn fresh right now, like nothing's overcooked at all. So here is to build in more momentum. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and I will see ya in the team.